What's up everybody, and welcome back to another action figure review. Today we're checking out the McFarlane Toys She-Spawn from the comic book Spawn. Now I'm pretty pumped to be adding this figure to my collection because, well, let's face it, how can you not love a character that's just as badass as Spawn, who has a wicked leather jacket with red flaming massive hair and who wields the craziest, largest inventory of weapons, swords, axes, guns, you name it, she's got it, she's badass. And how can you not love her for it? This is She-Spawn, guys, and I'm very excited to get her out of this packaging. But first, before we do that, let's go ahead and check out the packaging and what she comes in. Now, as you can see, she does come in this large window box packaging here, so you can see the action figure in all of her glorious glory, with all of her glorious weapons. I love all the accessories that she comes with. She also is in front of a wicked sunrise, sunset, lightning for some reason included background. Love it, really makes this figure pop. Everything about this packaging so far is phenomenal. I love it. We have the Spawn branding down here on the bottom left. On the bottom right, we have the She-Spawn, and I love this gradient green that goes up top. Now on the first side panel here, we have a nice product shot of She-Spawn, a really nice, beautiful close-up shot of her face. You can see all the details and sculpture work in her hair as well. It's absolutely beautiful and flowy, and it looks exactly like the comic book. Now let's move on to the other side here. We have a wonderful, wonderful comic book style shot of She-Spawn. Love this image here. It looks straight from the comic book, and I can't get enough of this style, and I love that she has that green nectoplasm in her hand. The back of the box, look how cool this picture is, everybody. I love the product shot of her on the side here holding her massive guns. I love that shadow in the background, makes it look so badass. I love this massive like axe, spear, whatever the heck it is. I'm a big fan of the background and of all the graffiti and iconography. It looks so good. Overall, awesome packaging on this Spawn, the She-Spawn action figure. Let's bust her out of here so we can take a closer look and just have fun. Let's play. I'm going to be going over all the details for you, the sculpt, the paint application, the articulation, and of course, the accessories. You guys know the drill. Let's check out She-Spawn from McFarlane Toys. And here she is, our She-Spawn. I'm a huge fan of the way she's designed and her sculpt, and her accessories are through the roof. She looks absolutely marvelous. I'm just blown away at the sheer amount of detail on this action figure. I thought the Redeemer that I reviewed last had a lot of detail, but this She-Spawn is mind-blowing. Check out the detail and the texture right here on her boot, on this upper white part. Lots of details everywhere. The sculpt on her is truly astonishing. Everything from, well, her face to her boots. Look at those boots here. You have nice little spikes on the top of her shoe there. The paint job on here is also very well done. Not a miss on the paint job here. No blemishes, no chipping paint. Shockingly, there's a good amount of dry brushing on this She-Spawn. Now, we do have lots of dry brushing on the accessories themselves. They're mostly black with silver dry brushing applied to it. Same with, yeah, this gun, as you can see. Lots of dry brushing applied to it as well. Now, I really like the left leg boot here. It's very cool. I love the style of it. I love the spikes on the bottom here on the shin and on the calf. We have some really nice spikes right here on her thigh, on her right leg thigh. Love that. Again, the dry brushing of silver paint on that black really makes those spikes pop. The back of her jacket looks really nice as well. You can see all those details in here, the wrinkles in the back of her jacket, even studs on her collar. That is insane amount of detail. I never even realized that. And I do love the gauntlet here, the spikes on her arm, and the ammo ring around, the ammo belt, sorry, around her shoulder, just like a random ammo belt. Now there's texture all over She-Spawn's black leather jacket. You can actually kind of feel, not necessarily like a smooth leather, but there is definitely a texture on there. Love the detail of the Spawn skull right there, that button to close up that jacket. You know, on Spawn, he has that big skull right by his belly, but on her, it's on the shoulder pad. Very cool. I love the chain as well. Again, I wish the chain on her shoulder and around her waist was real, like this chain we have here. I do wish all Spawn toys came with real chains. I think it really makes the figure pop a lot more and doesn't look so dull. That chain really shines, as you can see. So now let's take a closer look at her face. It is so well done, guys. I am just blown away at the sheer amount of detail on She-Spawn's face here. The sculpt in overall, first off, is very nice, very feminine. The sharp jaw looks very, very good as well. Lots of detail on the brows. You can see lots of brows there. The eyes look very, very nice. And the paint job, she looks absolutely outstanding. That green in her eye is very vibrant and just penetrating. It is the only green on this figure as well, so it really makes her face and her eyes stand out and pop. See a little bit of glistening off those lips as well, so that's very, very nice. Now, one of my favorite, actually my favorite part of this action figure is by far the hair. Now you can just see all the details and the sculpture work in her hair. It is absolutely mind-blowing. It's a page from Spawn come to life on a toy. Look at all those waves and those curls. Very, very Todd McFarlane style of hair, that's for sure. Her leather jacket is a soft rubber, so it is a little bit malleable. As you can see, I could bend that rubber there, so it's very nice. Of course, it doesn't really impede any of her movement because of that soft rubber. Her hair is also a soft rubber. It's not solid. Up here, up top, you know, it is a little bit hard because it's a big chunk, right? But down here by the little curls, it is very soft and malleable. You can work around and move around the articulation and the hair because of the softness of that rubber and plastic. The shoulder pad is also a soft plastic and very malleable. You can see here it's not even attached to her shoulder, which is great because that does actually open up full articulation in her shoulder. Accessories and all the weapons that the She-Spawn comes with. Let's start off by talking about the base here. It is a nice Spawn branded base, and I am a big fan of the branded bases nowadays. Now that we're talking about the base, let's talk about very similar to that Redeemer where his wings weighed him down and he couldn't stand. Well, guess what? Very similar here. Her hair is so heavy, there is no way you can get her to stand up without that base. There's literally no way. As you can tell with her heels here, they're high heels. There's a point to them. There is only a little bit of platform that she can use to stand on her own, and she's not going to stand on her own too easily, and I'm not even gonna try. I'm going to put her on the base right away so she can stand, and that is going to basically be the only fault I really have with this toy, is that she can't stand. And honestly, toys need to be able to stand on their own right out of the box. Now let's get a closer look at her weapon accessories, starting off with this massive axe thing that I love, this pike, mace, whatever you want to call this thing. Hellspawn scythe. It looks very, very cool, menacing as heck. It is very malleable. Guys, this is basically straight up rubber. It is good quality though. It's thick. It's not gonna break on you. Like, look at all that tension I'm putting into that bend, and it's not giving way at all. So very, very good there. We have lots of silver on here, dry brush here in these portions, down here by this little big ball, this mace. Lots of detail. God damn, lots of detail on this girl and on these weapons, and lots of dry brushing. Love the dry brush work there. We do have a little bit of red bandage up top and in the middle here for gripping. I do wish there was a little bit of wash in the red portion though. I think that would really make the bandages stick out and pop, and that goes with all the red on this figure and her accessories. It does go in her hand fairly easily. Again, it is rubber, so you can just kind of slide it in there and it's just gonna fit no problem. She does come with this awesome long chain. It's probably like, what, 10 inches? It's just a loose chain. I guess you can wrap it around her gun as it came in on the package. In the package, you could wrap it around her waist. You can see how much cooler that the real chain makes her look opposed to the rubber plastic chain. So again, I do wish that this figure came with more real chain. Take a look at this beauty here. I'm honestly not a big fan of guns, but when they're designed by Todd, and look at this. How can you not like whatever this is? It has 1, 2, 3 triggers on it. Is that another trigger back there? That is another trigger back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 triggers on this gun alone. So it is a crazy rifle. The paint job on it, it's very, very simple. Lots of dry brushing. It's basically spray painted black and dry brushed with a silver. And we have a little bit of red to complement all that black and silver here and there. And we have a little bit of yellow gold to represent the shells of the ammo in that ammo line there. Let's move on to the next one, which is another rifle. It is the sniper rifle. Look how long this thing is on her. It is basically as tall as her, maybe a little bit taller. Big fan of it. Again, very Todd McFarlane and Spawn-esque with all the different details, barrels, sights. I don't know why there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of sights on this thing. I do love the design of the handle back here, the trigger, and the massive magazine that just pops out on that angle. Looks very, very cool. Again, with the red complement around the handle here, around the gun, the rifle. Next up, now I don't know what kind of gun this is, but I do really like the closer gripping hands. So you can put one of her hands on the handle here and another on this handle, and you can have her holding it close to her body or, you know, facing out a little bit. It's a very, very cool gun and design overall. More of that red bandage around the magazine here. Again, the dry brush of silver on the black looks fantastic, and the details again alone are mind-boggling, mind-blowing. Last accessory, actually second last accessory, we have this cool sword. It's like a scimitar or something, not entirely too sure what kind of sword this is. Lots of colors on here, surprisingly. It's not just silver and black and red. There's not a lot of dry brushing, actually. We do get a little bit of gold dry brushing on the handle. I know it's harder for the camera to pick up the gold, but the gold is there. Again, we have the red around the sword handle, and that is about it. It's not gonna break or anything on you, so you won't ever have to worry about that. So here you can see that I've put on She Spawn's alternate hand, and you can see how cool it really, really looks. I really love just how like powerful it is. It kind of looks like she's summoning some nectoplasm, but it also doubles as like a hand where you can, there we go, you could kind of put that hand underneath the gun like that, so it looks like she's holding the handle, and then this hand, it looks like she's pulling the trigger. There's the inside shot of how it looks. It is very weird we don't get an alternate hand for her right and only her left. So I think that's a little bizarre, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. At least we get the one alternate hand, and I don't need the hands. I prefer the guns and the swords and the spear over anything else. So let's go ahead now and check out all of her articulation. Checking out her neck and head articulation first, because this is the one part on this action figure that I do have a problem with. Starting with the rotation left and right, she doesn't have a lot of movement, as you can see here. That is because on this side, her chin runs into her jacket collar right there, as you can see. And when she rotates to the other side, it's her hair that gets interrupted by her arm and her shoulder. I don't mind her not having a lot of articulation in the neck and head. That is because of, well, look how beautiful this flock of hair is. It is absolutely stunning. It looks straight out of the comic book, as I've mentioned. I would gladly take the limited articulation for all of that wonderful detail. It's stunning here. Now, when it comes down to moving her head up and down, she doesn't have a lot of motion as well, as you can see there. On a side angle, you can see that her hair kind of acts like a spring. It kind of just bobs up and down. It's not ideal for articulation in the neck. Moving on to the shoulders here, she can move them out as far as you really need to on a figure, all the way up. You can actually rotate her shoulder at the joint here. It's my chunky fingers, but she does have a nice bicep rotation, as you can see there. And what's nice is this shoulder pad, this wicked Spawn logo skull here, doesn't get impeded on the shoulder at all. That's because it's attached to the bicep, which I wish a lot more figures did attach their shoulder pads to the bicep. How cool is that? So you can rotate it as far as you want all the way around. Now straightening out her arm, she does have that nice double jointed elbow, and of course she does have wrist rotation, and you can move it in and out as well. She does have rotation in the upper waist here, good rotation. You can rotate her all the way around. She is on that ball peg right there. Now, as much as it looks like she has lower body articulation, she actually doesn't. That's just the weird diaper thing that kind of goes over her waist, her torso, and her legs. She does have great movement in the legs. She can basically do the splits. Now, I don't want to force her legs any further than that. I don't want them to snap or anything. And she does have nice movement. She can do nice side kicks. She can rotate her leg back. Very, very well done here for rotation and movement in the legs. Again, that diaper being malleable is very nice because it doesn't really impede her movement much. It just makes it look awkward. That's basically as far as she can move her leg. That's not good at all, to be honest, now that I'm looking at it. Now, she does have some crazy double jointed knee articulation, as you can see there. Doesn't get impeded on anything. Extending her leg, she does have a little bit of rotation in her ankles, as you can see here. Not too much. I don't want to stress it anymore. Now, you can move her ankle up and down a little bit, not that much. What's cool with this action figure, kind of similar to her wrist actually, is the ball peg in her ankles are actually covered by her boot here. Now, she does have a toe joint right there. It's not bad. It's nice. I think it looks good. Now, if there's one other point of articulation I wish this figure had, it would be to have a cut behind this boot. Very similar, if not exactly like the Redeemer. Just a nice cut up here so you can rotate at least the upper thigh. But besides that, I think this is a pretty amazing action figure when it does come down to articulation. Again, this is such a cool designed character, and I think McFarlane Toys really nailed it. Kicking things off, we of course have to have Spawn. So here he is on the left, and on the right, we have the Redeemer. You can check out my Redeemer review by checking out the info box right here. Now, this is what I call a beautiful line of 7-inch action figures. Even though Spawn here is from Mortal Kombat 11, he does work really well to this scale and to this Spawn line. Next up, we have the NECA TMNT movie Foot Soldier on the left and the Super 7 Leonardo on the right. And lastly, we have the Storm Collectibles Scorpion on the left and the Black Series Crosshair from the Bad Batch on the right. So overall, this She-Spawn from McFarlane Toys is pretty damn cool. My favorite thing about this action figure is that the sculpt and details are absolutely insane. She legit looks like she came right out of the pages from the Spawn comic. Most notably is the beautiful hair sculpt that we have on She-Spawn. It is by far the nicest looking hair on an action figure I have ever seen. I am not gonna lie. I just can't stop looking at her hair. And then there's her jacket. Look how badass her jacket is. Love all those spikes and chains, of course. You can't have Spawn without chains. I love her boots. Her boots look so cool. I really dig how the short boot on the right complements the high thigh boot on the right. And I welcome all the spikes. More spikes on a Spawn toy, the better. And her face is so beautifully sculpted and painted as well. There's plenty of color, inking, and dry brushing all over this figure. She includes tons of amazing, and I mean amazing looking blasters, and my favorite accessory, the Hellspawn axe. She includes a single alternate hand, a real nice metal chain, and of course a Spawn branded base that you can use for all your dynamic posing. This She-Spawn is such an amazing action figure, and I cannot wait to add her to my collection. Alright everyone, thanks for checking out my review of the McFarlane Toys She-Spawn. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like, share it with all your collector friends, comment down below, and let me know if you have this figure and what you like or don't like about it. Let's start a conversation down there, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're into action figure reviews. I'll be posting more photos of She-Spawn on my Instagram, which you can check out at Claudio's Collection, so follow me there for more content. Thanks again for watching, and you can catch me in the next one.